when you get to your destination, that is where you find fulfillment. That is where you find satisfaction. That is where you find joy. It is not about becoming rich. No, not all of us are born to become billionaires. Some billionaires are like suicide victims. They have the money, but they are not happy. Some do not have $1 or 10 cedis. Go and see the way they are happy. They are so satisfied. They are not thinking about anything in life. They have the billions. They cannot sleep. Isn't it? You just want to marry. You got married and it is confusion. You are married, isn't it? Ambitiously ambitious. So you get into an ambition that comes back as a nightmare. You want to be rich. A lot of people use so many means to become rich. They get rich and they realize that they really didn't want what they desperately needed or wanted. It's not about your wants. It's about what God has for you. Have you found it? If you have not found it, you are in crisis. Am I speaking to somebody? Yes. When you get into that, you see that kind of social withdrawal. You don't want to go into people. Because sometimes you lose yourself. And even when you are putting on a dress, you only get out for people to say, oh, didn't you see that your dress was like that? And hey, I didn't even see the time I put on this dress. Has it happened to you? That is the impact of identity crisis. Yes. Then, when that happens, it heightens your feelings of isolation and then you become lonely. If you go into people, you don't know what they will say. You don't know what people are saying about you. You don't know what people might say about you. So that sense of negativity always brings you to the point where you are always conscious of what people are saying, what people will say, what people might say, what people might be saying, what others are thinking of you, and that keeps you into that state where you want to withdraw from everybody and you become what? You become anti-so. Is that correct? You become anti-so. And some people call it principle. It's not principle. Some people get into that, the listening provokes them. Is that correct? They have gone through self-mockery. Nobody is saying anything about them, but that self-assumption of people are talking about me. So even if they've not offended anyone, or they think that what even when they meet people talking, you are talking about me. They develop this kind of impulsive behavior. They do things before they realize they've done that. Yes. They are not even aware of what they do. Sometimes they may say something to you. When they go back, what did I say? Or when somebody draws their attention, did you really say that? Hey, I didn't mean bad, oh. You didn't mean bad. Yes, but yes, what is happening? How did you get there? When they find themselves in one employment with this crisis, they always get offended. They're always looking for excuse to leave one place of work to another place of work. They are changing jobs. They are changing places. They are changing friends. This impulsive behavior. And you become obese. You become obese. You don't know even how you are putting on weight. You are in crisis. Yes. Some even get to the point where as soon as food enters your mouth, you want to sort of vomit. You go to the hospital, they tell you have acid reflux or whatsoever. It's all these things put together that poisons your system. You don't know. Identity crisis has serious consequential effects or impact on people. And I pray that you get to understand this so that if you are a leader, if you're a parent, if you're a pastor, if you are yourself, wherever, you know how to deal with people because you don't know what they are going through, but you assume that it should be this. We will come to that very shortly and you will see yourself as an African parent in your small corner. So over time, people may also accept new values and beliefs. So they go through that kind of crisis and you see that, oh, let me shift. I don't believe in this anymore. People, a lot of the young ones today have come to the point where they don't even believe God exists anymore. Isn't it? Some are changing faith, others are changing brands, others are moving around and they are confused. It's a state of crisis. It's nothing, crisis. I feel that I'm no longer a man, I'm a woman. It's crisis. It's a serious identity crisis issue. You understand? Yes, you don't know who you are. And when they get what they want, they regret getting it. Okay? Others also reject certain kind of values and people who help them to grow. Let's talk about parenting. Lace your boots well. Fasten your seat belts. What is parenting? Parenting is the process of raising and nurturing children from infancy to maturity. Raising and nurturing children from infancy to what? Maturity. It entails offering emotional support, advice, and resources to children to support them to mature into healthy, well-adjusted persons. So, parenting is supposed to nurture you to a place where you will be happy. Is that correct? Giving all that you need to grow up within that framework God has provided or God planned for your life. So, parenting entails various tasks and duties. If you're a parent, you have a duty, you have a task, including providing for their children's fundamental needs. Children's fundamental needs. That's why your parents paid your bills, take you to school, give you or provide everything that you need. Establishing values. They help you to know what is right from what is not right, how to do things, how not to do things. When you are going wrong, they have to correct you in a way, all these things. And then setting boundaries. There are certain things you cannot do because in your thinking, they are the right things to do. But parenting is to guide you to grow within a framework and not cross those boundaries. It also aids in promoting your physical, emotional, and intellectual development. So a parent's duty is to help you physically, make sure that you are healthy. Emotionally, you don't have any psychological or end of thinking capacity issues. They also help you to develop intellectually. That is why parents will ensure that you go to school and you learn certain things. Now, there are various parenting styles. How people help you to grow, offering all the support. I will name a few, but we will touch on one, the African style of parenting. These various styles, each is characterized by different approaches to discipline, communication, and expectations. And some commonly recognized types of parenting styles include 1. Authoritative parenting. Authoritative parents are both demanding and responsive. They are what? Demanding. They always want you to do something, be in a certain bracket, but they will also respond to your needs. They are demanding and responsive. They set clear expectations and rules, but also provide warmth. So they give you the comfort. They give you the environment, welcoming environment, nice environment. But they tell you that, hey, this is where you have to be. We don't want you to cross this boundary. Is that correct? You are supposed to study. You are supposed to read your books. You are supposed to perform well in school. You are not supposed to make bad friends. Bad friends will not help you. They guide you. That is the demands. But they will not also default in paying your school fees. You understand? Providing your needs and making sure that you are not under any form of threat but you are free. But then be mindful of your freedom. That is what the authoritative parents do. So they set these clear expectations and rules, but also provide one support and responsiveness to their children's needs. They encourage independence and individuality while maintaining a structured and nurturing environment. So they want you to be yourself, but not to abuse that freedom you have to be yourself. I hope you understand. Be yourself doesn't mean do what you like. Do what is right. Okay? Now, the second one is the African one. Authoritarian parenting. Authoritarian parenting. Authoritarian parents are highly demanding but less responsive. Do this, do that, do that. The ones you call strict parents. Why are you sleeping by this time? Lazy boy, get up, get up. They're always on your neck. Isn't it? But when you need something to lie, JJ man. Ashanti boy speaking Ghana. You understand? They set strict rules and expectations and enforce them with little room for flexibility. So when you are living with such parents, the kind of strict discipline, the listing, they will come after you, right? The listing, they will scream. The listing, they are provoked. The listing, they are angry. And they have to vent their anger on you in a certain manner that you will never like. So living with them, you are always living in fear. You are always intimidated. Even when you hear that they are coming. You hear what she said? This is the authoritarian parent. No room. The authoritarian parents often value obedience and discipline over warmth and communication. So you are with them in your house, but you can't talk to them. That is why a lot of people have gone wayward. They take refuge in their friends. Is that true? They take refuge, so they rather communicate to their friends. They talk to people who provide that warmth and comfort. So they are always, and that is where a lot of people take advantage of others. Why? You have a daughter, the daughter should be your friend. You have a son, the son should be your friend. He should have that room to come to you freely, talk to you freely, express himself freely, except that that child is hiding something. That one is born out of natural fear. They cannot come because they suspect that you might be aware of what they are doing in secret. Apart from that, you should be able to freely go to your parents and talk. Tell them what you want, how you feel. Tell them what you are going through. But if you live with this kind of authoritarian parent, they have become pastors. If you are in their church, you don't have the room to do anything. It's about do as I say. You can have your way, I will have my say. They are your bosses in the offices. You are like them. You are one. You went through it and you think that is the right. Oh, that is how we were trained. That is the best discipline. But you are damaging the person who has been created uniquely by God. Some become timid. You have no right to complain. Even if something is wrong with you, you cannot voice it out. You have to keep quiet. In our part of the continent, the elderly is always right. So no matter how right you are wrong. And you have to admit that you are wrong. This ends up hurting your feelings. So a lot of people call in and they just, Then the psychological crisis starts. These people become worse in life. So when they get opportunity to be working with you, they have been damaged from home. And you become the end release of their heat. Do you understand? Yes. Somebody like their parent is their boss. Somebody like their parent is their patient in the hospital. So the listening provokes them. They remember because they cannot react or respond to the parents' style of authoritarianism but they will find a way to vent it on somebody else. So if this person is the boss, people are, if it's a pastor, many pastors are here, people are leaving the church, you don't even know why they are leaving. People are offended, people are grieving, people are complaining. And one thing is that if you dare talk, we will go to the next session. When we come, I will point it out to you. The African child under an authoritarian parent has been trained not to talk. So if even something is worrying you, he will die with it, because if you dare talk, you become a victim. Yes, so old as you are, 60 years, 50 years, that thing is still at the back of your mind. You are still afraid. Because when you have to voice out, that is why a lot of people see things going wrong. And the police are advertising, state security are saying that, hey, see something, say something. But who am I to say something? They will come after me. So you see things going wrong, but nobody wants to talk about it. Why? Because going to talk about it, you become the victim. Am I making sense? You understand? So you think that that strict discipline that the child will have to quietly submit to that kind of strict parenting that is damaging him or her, you call it discipline, and the person must submit. That kind of obedience is devilish. It's a human-centered, self-created. You understand? Am I talking to somebody? If you have suffered that, trust me, it's a pity. And that is the essence of this program. How to deal with such things, because such things have created a lot of problems for society, for you and I. We have gone through it. We didn't like it. We didn't like it. And trust me, so many things are going wrong because they must go wrong. Why? We have succeeded in using that style of parenting to create human beings that are not fit for the purpose. They are just there. They are just there. Are you training your children the same way, under the same umbrella? Do you care how they feel? No. Have you thought of it? What you are doing to them, how they feel? You don't care about their feelings. So the authoritarian parent is selfish. They think about themselves. They think about their needs. They don't care how you feel, what you feel. Adding to the problems. And when the worst happens, they go to God. To do what? No, to do what? To confess your sins or to report. And some who were brought up under that kind of stiff, straight hand, who have become leaders and exercising the same thing, doing unto others what they hated, and some have disliked their parents till today. If you're a parent, go and ask your children, what do you have against me? Let them come out and make amends and move on, because you are altering the person's genetic code. A lot of people's genetic codes have been altered. So they are with you and they are around you, but they are not with you. Am I making your case for you? Yes. So if you're a leader, if you're a pastor in a church, how do you want to rule? This is what I want. Is it about what you want or what God says? Jesus says, I will build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. But because you were brought up damaged, you are using that damaged self to damage the system that you did not create. You are only a steward in that system, but you are, because of your damaged situation, you are damaging the rest. So go to so many churches. I've recorded a documentary on church hate, and come and see stories, how people are shedding tears because of how many times their toes have been stepped on. The next one is the permissive parenting. Permissive parents are highly responsive but less demanding. They will give you everything you want and they will say nothing. Whatever you want to do, do. I will not spend much time here. That is not my focus. They are very lenient with rules and boundaries, allowing children significant freedom. Permissive parenting is also characterized by high levels of warmth, comfort, but may lack the structure necessary for optimal child development. If you live under such parenting, do what you want, nobody corrects you. So till today, you grew up under that kind of umbrella. So when you go to a place where there is discipline, you get offended always. Why? Mommy, daddy didn't correct you when you were doing things wrong. So you don't see the reason why somebody should talk to you that way. A lot of marriages have collapsed because of that kind of thing. A lot of people have been sacked from their jobs. A lot of people have lost several opportunities, all because of some of these things. Then we have the uninvolved parenting. Uninvolved parents are neither demanding nor responsive. They may be neglectful or emotionally distant. They are not in your life. They don't care. They don't care. They are thinking about themselves. They don't care whether you live or die. They don't care. These are called what? Uninvolved parenting. You want a mother figure in your life to play that role of a mother, to give you that bond of a mother with a child feeding from the breast. You don't have it. You have that kind of distant connection with your child, with your children. You're only existing, giving them what they want. Oh, when they come, sometimes you don't even care whether they need something or not. You don't care. And they are just growing. You put them in a serious crisis. Then we have the helicopter parents. Helicopter parents are overly involved in their children's lives, often hovering over them and micromanaging their activities. So they decide what they wear, what they eat. Even if they get married, they decide what kind of man they should marry, the kind of attire their husbands or wives should be wearing, the kind of food they have to be cooking for their husbands. Everything they want to decide. Helicopter parent. They are everywhere, watching everything, monitoring everything from above. They want to control everything. They tend to be highly responsive but excessively controlling, making decisions on behalf of their children and not allowing them to experience natural consequences. It's dangerous. You understand? It's what? It's dangerous. Helicopter parenting. If you have one, you will never become yourself. You will never be yourself. Is that correct? You will never be yourself. I'm telling you. So these are the people who cannot think on their feet. Without the presence of their parents, they are handicapped. Everything mommy must do, daddy must do. Because mommy is inquisitive. Mommy wants to know everything. Even how your wife gives birth. Mommy wants to know the style of giving birth. The kind of food she prepares for you. Quantity of salt, quantity of pepper. This is how I've been preparing my son's meal. So you are married, but the son is still with the mother. So that is why you live with a husband who is mommy's son. He can never grow and he's giving you, he's a piece of work. If you marry mommy's daughter, piece of work. If you work with them in the offices, whatever transpires, secret and confidential, mommy must hear, daddy must hear. Umbilical gossips. Helicopter parenting. Then we have the free range. The free range parents encourage independence and self-reliance on their children. They provide a certain degree of freedom and allow children to explore the world with less direct supervision. Do what you want. Be free. You go and come. You can even come to the house and sleep with a woman in the house. They don't care. Bring your boyfriend, sleep with them on daddy's bed. They don't care. They think they are giving you the freedom. And this promotes what? Autonomy and problem-solving skills. This child cannot independently because nobody helped him to grow and corrected and all these things. So parenting plays a significant role in shaping an individual's sense of identity. Parenting. Yes. You miss a lot of opportunities. You have missed a lot of opportunities all because of parenting. It can also introduce complex dynamics and challenges that contribute to identity crisis. So, now to our topic, how parenting contributes to identity crisis. Number one, I'll talk about parental expectations. Parents often have expectations for their children, whether consciously or unconsciously. And these expectations can relate to career choices, values, beliefs, and even lifestyles. When a child's aspirations diverge from these parental expectations, it can lead to a conflict of identity. Our conference, the first conference we held, there was a parent here who said that he had wanted to become a medical doctor because he could not pursue as a result of financial challenges in the home. He has encouraged his daughter to become a medical doctor. So I told him here, why are you forcing your child to live your dream? God created you as a unique individual. God created him as a unique individual. You desired to be something. You couldn't achieve it. You want him to be the one taking up your job for you. Who told you? I hope you understand the point I'm making. Do you get it? How many of you are going through that? I heard of a story where a young lady want to offer this course, home science, right? Home science. The father says, no, you must do science, home economics. She must offer science. There's a similar story where a young guy wanted to become a chartered accountant. His dead father was a chartered accountant. So the guy wanted to take after the father. And they said no. Because you are very good at maths, pursue science. This guy was pushed into science and he failed woefully. Okay? Yes, he failed. Why? Because mommy, daddy want him to become that. My parents wanted me to become a medical doctor or an engineer. So when God called me and I started pursuing ministry, crisis started. Persecution started. Yes. To the point where I was told, if you don't do your things right and you become useless. I remember my dad told me that if you want to become a man of God, you beg and eat. Why? Because they see men of God as people who don't have money. And every parent is expecting so much from their children. So therefore, they choose your path for you. And the path they are choosing is not in your interest. It's in their selfish interest. Why? If you become that, that is where you will make the money that will support them. But they are not looking at the legacy you will leave behind for your children. Am I making sense? How many people have you damaged? Who damaged you? Why are you damaging those who are under you? Have you thought of it? No, have you thought of it? So that is how we are all contributing to creating a default system. A system where people are not where God has provided for them to be, but a system where now man has put himself in the shoes of God, directing the affairs of the creation of God when they have no authority to do so. No mandate. Has God given any one of us here a mandate to decide what happens to them? No. So if you're a parent, your duty is to go on your knees and know when Jesus was conceived, the parents were told, he shall deliver his people from their sins. Isn't it? John the Baptist, he is the voice of the one crying in the wilderness. Moses was told, many people in the Bible, their destinies were told their parents. Why? Their parents were close to God.